All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be reacting to Candace Owens and Marc Lemont Hill sitting down having a conversation today. They talked about a lot of things, but a key moment for me I want to look at is where I think she asked him, can men give birth? And he didn't say no, right? Like the answer is supposed to be no, but he didn't say no. So we're going to get into this conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe while you're watching with me. Now, let's get into this.
I was born a female.
Yes, that's a sex.
We are black. Okay? It's a color though. Black is it's a word that we use to say a sex. Female is a word that we use that has a meaning.
Yes,
it means you are born with a vagina, you can have children, you have a uterus. When you are a male, you are born with a penis, you can get a woman pregnant. These words have real meanings. We cannot suddenly get into society where there are no truths.
So to acknowledge a social construct does not mean that we ignore biology, and it doesn't mean that we don't have.
Can men get pregnant?
Depends. I know.
What does it depend on?
I know trans men that can get pregnant.
That means it's a woman. Only one sex can get pregnant.
See, now I know this is a little bit old. Let's check the date. Okay, June 28th, 2020. Right now, this is back in 2020. But I find it interesting, you know, a black man saying this when and he entitled to his opinion. You know, I don't want to. I'm not the speech police. I'm not telling him what he can and cannot say. But after hearing how the money from BLM, a lot of BLM money went to trans organizations and things like this. Just hearing how his support for the idea that a man can get pregnant and all of this trans rights stuff, after seeing how money that was supposed to be for black people went to trans rights stuff, it's just a bit eye-opening. You know what I mean?
Circular argument. That's
it's not a circular argument. Yeah. It's proving my thing. There is a truth, a concrete truth. You have to be born with a uterus to have a baby. Only women can get pregnant. The fact that we've arrived in a society where
that's the part I'm disagreeing with. That's the part I'm disagreeing.
And my other gripe with this, you know what I'm saying, and people might get mad at me for this, but I was just talking to someone about like family and, the future and things like that, right? But the black family specifically already has a single motherhood, problem. We have enough challenges as it is. So to introduce this idea of full swing of men getting pregnant and this being something good for the black community, to me is a bit ludicrous. I think we need to be getting back to the roots, to the roots of just good old fashioned nuclear family more than anything. That's just my opinion, man.
There's nothing to disagree with it. These are facts. So you can say that this person who is pregnant identifies as a man. That person was born a woman. I can tell you that every single time because only women can have sex, because there are concrete truths about life.
Have babies.
Can have babies, pardon. And that is a hard truth about life. You cannot make that go away because you want to call somebody who has a beard and dresses like a dude a woman. Only if it's pregnant, I can tell you exactly what it is. It's a woman.
So I'll give you, let's go back to the social construct thing, because then it'll answer the thing you just said. I'm not ignoring what you just said. I want to tie it together. So the idea of, my point was that a social construct doesn't ignore physical realities, right? The social construct is about how we as a society make sense of those physical realities, right? So for example, you said we're black. Sure, right? I'm trying to think of, you pick a light-skinned black person, right? They're black, right? We'd agree on that. Mm-hmm. Now let's go to the Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the PR. Let's go to Puerto Rico. Let's go to Jordan. Let's go to Iraq. Let's go to Sudan. Let's go to Ghana, right? And let's go to South Africa. I'm picking these places very specifically because they have different racial logics and racial paradigms. And what it means to be black here, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a universal blackness, right? That in Dominican, there might be 5 different other racial categories, right? And there are some light-skinned black folk here who, when they go to Ghana, get basically seen as white, right? Because of how we socially construct it. Doesn't mean my biology changed. Doesn't mean my physical reality changed, but how society engages this stuff is what makes it a social construct. So similarly, when it comes to, so I'm not ignoring the.
So he can say that you can adhere to a social construct without adhering to biology. But the thing is with biology, no matter what, you adhere to biology always. No matter what, no matter who you are, no matter how much you try to change yourself, you'll always adhere to biology.
The realities of race. So with race and racism in America, and then I'm going to take it back to the gender thing. When it comes to race and racism in America, it's, yes, biologically, we're all the same. Right? Black people, white people, there's an infinitesimal difference between a black person and a white person in terms of our genetics, right? This is superficial stuff. But that's a biological reality, right? It's a biological fact, right? Just like it's biologically true as me being born with a penis, right? But the truth is, but the idea that there's social meanings attached to that blackness that make people fear me, or that make people think that that person's life is worth more because they're white or whatever. Those are social meanings that are arbitrary and different. So to acknowledge social constructs doesn't mean you ignore biological realities.
But you just did that when you said that men could give birth.
So similarly, what I'm saying is that I'm not denying the biological reality of maleness, of the genitalia we're assigned at birth and what we can do with those body parts. I'm not denying that. That's a biological reality. Again, the social meaning I'm attaching to it is what I'm saying is more complicated.
But it's not complicated.
See, and like he said, complicated. It's a shame that all she asked him a simple question, and he has to go through this much explaining, and he still hasn't even said exactly what he's trying to say. I don't even know exactly what he's trying to say. She asked him about can a man get pregnant, and he went to start talking about race.
Okay, can men give birth?
Sometimes. That's my answer. Yes.
And the answer that is crazy.
Ludicrous.
And we cannot. It's just crazy. We cannot allow this to happen.
But you wouldn't say the definition of being a woman is the ability to give birth.
And I'm not saying it, but only women can give birth is a factually true statement. Only women can give birth. There's only one type of human being
only
that
people
can
with
give
uteruses and vaginas and
can
stuff
give
can
birth.
give birth.
Only women can give birth.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Birth.
I'm not. And here's what I think we're talking past each other. What I'm saying is, I'm not disputing the fact that certain body parts yield certain kinds of possibilities, right? What I'm disagreeing with is the idea that is the measure of whether or not you're a man or a woman in society.
Okay, but it is now come to a point where if you say that only women can give birth, you are called a bigot. That is crazy. That's nuts. If you say, like J.K. Rowling did when she got canceled by the Harry Potter cast.
And honestly, no matter what you say, even if you happen to believe in whatever Marc Lemont Hill believes in, because he, like I said, he just said so much. But even if you believe trans women are women, it's still only women get pregnant. The ones pretending, or or the ones that really are. But he just arguing for the small minority, which to me doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, especially if you're trying to give any sort of general advice. You know what I'm saying? Like my advice for the black family, which is a strong nuclear family, is simple. My advice is very simple, but you talk to Marc Lemont Hill, you might have an hour-long conversation with him. I'm not sure.
That only women can menstruate. Okay, can men get their period? Can you help my audience? Can men get their period?
Some can.
Okay.
Yeah, trans men. There's some trans men who can. And again, I think it's okay to ask interesting questions. I think it's okay to have intellectual debates. But I don't think that we ever want to enter a space where we deny the humanity, and I'm not saying you are, but to deny the humanity or the experiences of other people.
Like I said, I was totally okay with trans until it became a demand. What you are denying is my ability to be an intelligent human being, right? You're denying my ability to talk about science and biology in a meaningful way. You are now making your existence is actually infringing on mine. Okay.
How so?
And because when you make it a requirement now that I have to pretend that men can give birth and men can menstruate and there needs to be tampons as the ACLU is fighting for in male restrooms, and that if I don't see the reason, the importance of that, then I'm a bigot. I'm someone that doesn't accept. No. I accept you if you want to run around and you want to wear a dress and you want to call yourself Tiffany and you want to put a pillow. But you won't call me Tiffany. If you want, I don't need to know your name. It doesn't mean anything to me. If you want to call,
I won't call him ma'am, but I will call him Tiffany.
I'm not going to sit here and say, I don't believe your name is Tiffany. If a person comes up to me and they're in a dress and a skirt and they say, my name's Tiffany. Okay, cool, Tiffany, cool. Right? But when it becomes Candace is a bigot because she won't acknowledge that, Tiffany the man got her period and can have a baby, I'm not playing that game. I will never
So tomorrow,
back
I'll come
down.
on your show tomorrow, and I have decided that, or a year from now, suddenly I have reimagined my identity, and I have recognized and affirmed my identity as a trans woman, and I no longer want to identify as Mark. I want to identify, as to use your example, as Tiffany. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be like, this book says Mark, you're Mark. You'd call me Tiffany.
I'd call you Tiffany, but I'm not going to call you she and her because that has real meaning, and I'm not going to play the game.
What's compromised by that? Is what I'm trying to understand.
My reality. You're now saying you've transformed your reality, and now I have to pretend that words have no meanings, and they do have meanings, right? So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to call you hi, Tiff.
Yep, and that's when your social construct clashes with biology, and most people tend to view things the way Candace does. The only way you're a she or a her is if you're a biological woman.
Tiff, how you doing, Tiff? Did you have a good day, Tiff? Great, Tiff. I'm not going to then say she. I'm not doing that. And if people cannot, if people the demand.
But you won't misgender me either.
What? I'll just call you Tiffany.
But and if they say where'd Tiffany
And
go,
I
you're not gonna
don't-
be like he just left. You'll say she just left.
I'll probably slip up a.
All right, guys. I think this is getting a little redundant at this point. Let me see. Is it any more? Is this gender neutral bathrooms is the next and final talking point? I just want to give a little story real quick before we close out. So I worked at a restaurant, and it was the transgender man, young man. So it was a girl that became a boy. She did some surgeries and everything, and she worked there. And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not used to being around those type of people. So, you know, I still saw a girl. So I when I was referring to her, I would refer to her as her and she, and you know what I'm saying? I didn't exactly get on board, but she didn't make a big deal out of it, you know. So I appreciate her for not making a big deal out of it. And I mean, if you going out of your way to, you know, harass a trans person and like just call him a he, and you know, then you're probably doing too much, because in your everyday life you don't really see them. At least most people don't. And if you do see them, you know, to go out your way to approach them and you know, talk down on them is that's a whole different story. But, you know, no one is, you know, at least not me or anyone I know is trying to, you know, bash them or put them down. It's just when your social construct clashes with my understanding of biology, then it's a problem. Because I don't call men her and she. I don't call women him and him and he. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Now, last announcement, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for your chance to win a free Insider Plus or All Access membership to the Daily Wire, which I will be giving away at the end of the month. Features people like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, Matt Knowles, and more. All right. End of the month of October, I will be giving that away. We almost there. It's October 29th. So, yeah, get ready, guys. But till next time, I'm out. Peace.